Hi, I'm Lawson. I write on Substack, WordPress. I have a YouTube channel. I post on TikTok. I post on digitalamendment.com. Just Google the name Lawson Wallace or Uncle Lawson Wallace's desk, or and you'll find my picture and links to my content. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I worked at the time at I was a security guard, and I was briefly assigned at the largest public housing project complex in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's since been torn down, thank goodness. And before that, I was working condos, rich people's condos. So it was kind of a culture change, to say the least. And it's been years later, and I still have stories, and I still have memories of that place. Sometimes I even have like flashbacks because it was a very stressful place to work. I almost quit after I almost didn't last an hour. I almost walked out once, because I wanted my first day of work was chaos, and I found out it was chaos every day. I mean, there wasn't a shift went by. I don't think that I didn't have to call 911 at least once, like me or one of the other guards I worked with. But a lot of the stories were things I remember were sad and upsetting, involving death and substance abuse. But there are some funny stories because most everybody that lived in that complex was under psychiatric care on some kind of medication, and plus they all abused substances. Almost all of them. I mean, when they got their checks every month, the place was like the wild, wild west. One story I still laugh about all these years later. This guy called me because he had a problem with his neighbor across the hall from him. So I went up there, and she had loaned him money, I guess, and he didn't pay her back. And that was always a problem. That always caused a problem. And it happened quite often. But anyway, her way of solving the problem was she got a handful of shit, walked across to his door, spread that shit all over his doorknob and on his door. Then went back to her apartment. And the reason I know that she was the one who did it, because there was a trail of shit from one door to the other. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it. I just called the cops. And cop came, chewed him out, told him to get the act together, and that if he had to come back, she was going to jail. And I still laugh about that. Now, who does that? I mean, why would anybody? You know what? I never would think to do that to anybody. But people different than you and I. So, and and the funny thing is, I started that place as a regular security guard. Um, and site captain, got promoted to off-site to a position in the office. And one of the guards I trained, because I had been there a while, was promoted, even though I had seniority, he was promoted to captain because I said, if you try to make me captain of this place, I'll quit instantly. I'm not going to do it. Well, not too long after that guy was promoted captain, he had a nervous breakdown, got put in the psych ward. And not too long after that, they took me out of the site because they thought I was going down the same road, and I was. And like I said, I got a bunch more stories. If people like this one, I can tell some more. So thank you for watching, and leave comments and let me know if you want me anything you want me to talk about. And please find constructive ways to settle beefs with your neighbors, because spearing shit on somebody's door is just gross. Have a good one.